Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome in to another edition of the NCAA Hoops Hour. I am the big man on campus, breaking down a big Monday here as we get into a new week here, and hopefully have some profit in our hands. Last week I had a couple of tough beats, so looking to bounce back myself, but on a nice run in college basketball, looking to keep that up. 20-13 over my last 33 picks, so really nice run here since my really bad start. So I'm happy with where I'm at. Hopefully we can continue with that and get into Profitville here. I hope you all had a nice weekend and you had a nice weekend wherever you were. Whether you watch football or you just doing your own thing, thank you for joining me here today. Today we are obviously picking up the pieces here in Philadelphia after yesterday's loss. Not really much to say. It's over, and unfortunately, the season's over. So, what are you gonna do? We'll spend the rest of our next, long. What do we have? It's August. August we have till football, so we have a nice 8 months or 7 months to talk about it, and we will bring it up obviously around draft time, which we'll be excited. Please hit the like button if you're out there. I'd appreciate that. Not a huge card tonight, not a lot of great spots, but we'll try to break them down here. 6:30 Eastern, 8:65, 8:66. Nebraska heading on the road to take on Indiana up at Assembly Hall. Indiana lane 2, total 143.5. Look, I like Nebraska here. I think they're the sharp side. Assembly Hall is a tough place to play, I know. But I do think there's some bad things here that I worry about with Indiana. One being the ability to guard in the front court. You look at Nebraska. I mean, really good on whether it's the front court or the back court. I mean, Palmer and Glenn Watson are terrific. You look down low at Roby and Copeland. This team's obviously very much big time rebounding team. Good from a blocks perspective. And they thrive off turnovers. They like to get out in transition. They're a team that is very opportunistic, very scrappy. They average almost 9 steals a game. I mean, and the team, and to go against a team here in Indiana who does have turnover issues, I think there's things on both sides of the ball that I really like from the Cornhuskers. Add in the fact that I think they're kind of a sharp side here. I think they're a better team than Indiana is. You also look at the fact that, over the last couple of years, Nebraska has been one of the better ATS teams in the country. I mean, Tim Miles, for all of his inability of not getting far in the tournament or even getting to the tournament, this still is a very good ATS team. 10-4-1 against the spread. They're covering over 71% of the time. They've done a nice job here against the number, and I think they have decided advantages on both sides of the ball. I think they're the better offensive team overall. I think defensively they're obviously much better, much more opportunistic. And, you look at the fact that, Indiana's playing without Deron Davis. That's obviously, a big loss. You lose your last 2 games. I think he would have helped out a lot against Maryland. I mean, he only played 4 minutes in that game. Had a turnover. It wasn't around and wasn't really able to deal with. You look at Fernando down low. Fernando and Cowan destroyed them. From both perspectives. Cowan was able to get into the lane. Fernando was able to catch the ball and finish. I mean, he was 10 for 11 from the field and had 25 points. He had a 13 total rebounds. You're going to have another tough game tonight against these bigs. I mean, Copeland and Roby are very good. And this is a Nebraska team that has been able to go on the road and win games. I know they've lost 2 of their last 2 road games at Iowa and Maryland, but this is a matchup they think suits them a bit better. This team's went on the road to Clemson and won. They went out to Minnesota. They've not been the best road team. I'm not going to try to sell that, but I think they have decided advantages on both sides here. I would take a shot if I had to with the Cornhuskers here. Melvin, Juan, Sean, Adam, Jose, Chad, Richard, Russ B, Sean, Isaac, John Nelson, Mondo, Sunil, Richard, Coach Fulford, Adam, Mitch, Matt, James, Naeem, AB, RS Jacobs, Mitchell, Sam. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us. What's happening? Let's keep it going here, guys. Listen, you don't need to ask about games. Okay, I'll go over all of them if I can get to all of them here. There's not a big card today. Let's get into a couple others here. Syracuse Duke. Obviously big line here. Duke lane 17. Look, I think whenever you're getting points in a zone, I'm interested. I mean, I think for me, it's going to be tough for Duke in this game. This is not going to be, just a walk in the park here. Obviously, Zion Williamson is he's not hobbled because he doesn't have like a bone injury. He just has an eye injury. I think we've all been hit in the eye, maybe not at the poking of this magnitude, but who knows? I mean, this takes a little bit of time to figure vision out and stuff. And this could be a game where they're obviously decided favorites. You sometimes have to say to yourself, well, we can let him play tonight and he could be ineffective, or we could just let him heal and have him good for the rest of the season, which obviously we have bigger fish to fry. Can they win this game without Zion Williamson? Probably. I think this is way too many points personally. And Syracuse isn't a bad basketball team. I mean, you're giving a team that can defend at a high level a lot of points here. And obviously we know what, Duke's, we know what they can do. We know everything they can do. They're also a very good defensive team. I got to tell you, I mean, if I'm looking at this game, I'd almost kind of lean to the under. I could see like a 75, 65 type of game, 80-65, something like that. I think this game could go just under the number. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, you have two really good defensive teams here. We know Syracuse can go through stretches of not being able to score. And Zion obviously not being out there, that'll help a little bit. But this team, I mean, Duke, I mean, what do you say about them? They're long, they're athletic. They're terrific. Syracuse is going to want to slow the tempo down and try to make Duke play in the half court. That's obviously the way to beat Duke. Duke is not a particularly good three-point shooting team, which could provide interesting tonight. That's where I would lean with the points. I still think Brissett and Battle are talented enough. Jalen Carey, Frank Howard. I need to see more of Dolajai as well. 17 just seems like too many. That's kind of my thought here. But look, Syracuse looked horrendous over the weekend. I mean, you lose by 14 to Georgia Tech. That's ugly. And up until now, I mean, what has Syracuse really done? I mean, all their step-up games they've lost. I don't know. 17 just seems like too many, though. Duke's gonna have to make a lot of shots against the zone. If Zion's out, I would take the points. Well, of course the zone will be active. It's gonna have to be. And that's my problem with Syracuse, and that's why I think the under could work here. Syracuse has issues in the half court. They always do. This could be a real grinder. Let's keep it moving here. Florida State, Pittsburgh. This is a bit too low to me. I think Pitt's a fraud. I mean, not a fraud, but I don't think that I think their early success was very much indicative of who they played. I mean, you look at recently, and they've stepped it up a little bit. They've had some major trouble. I mean, you look at their defense. Their numbers on defense look really good. But then you peel back the onion and you find out who they played, and they've started to come way back to earth. I remember going into the game against North Carolina. I remember talking on our Saturday college basketball show, and I pointed out how I thought their numbers were way too skewed because of who they played in the non-conference. I mean, outside of Iowa, they haven't played anyone good offensively, and their numbers were good. Then they start playing higher-end opponents. They played North Carolina, Louisville, and North Carolina State. They've given up 80 or more in all those games. You're going to pissed off Florida State team here. Again, it's a tough spot for the Seminoles, obviously coming off that loss. Quick rebound here. You had to travel. But Florida State is much more talented. And right now, I don't like at all what I'm seeing out of this defense for Pitt. If Florida State needs to remember, it's one game. Okay, we've lost 3 games this year. And they're to Villanova, Virginia, and Duke. 3 top 20 teams. So it's not the end of the world for Florida State. I think they bounce back tonight and take care of Pittsburgh. Line seems a bit low to me. It is a road game, though, and I understand where it is. I love Florida State though. I really love them every year. Every the bigs they have, the long athleticness that they have. They're huge. They have a lot of experience. They're a team that's very much continuitized. Continuitized. I don't know if that's a word. They have a lot of continuity. Good bench. He's always going to throw out 10, 11 guys. Hamilton. Look, a lot of people will lament him for his inabilities on the weekend, but look, it was a breakdown, to be honest, against Duke. We have to forget, though, or remember that they should have won the game. I mean, they had it. Skooma Steve, what's up? Scott Letty, BidXN, Conrado, Jordan, Heath, thanks for joining us. Is Arizona a good team? Can they win a game in the tournament? I think they can. I mean, obviously, Sean Miller, people know what he's all about off the court, but the truth of the matter, Sean Miller is, I mean, he is a good coach. I mean, the proof is in the pudding of, have they been far in the tournament? No, and they're going to have to figure that out. But, I mean, I'm not sure if a lot of people know this, but they have the #1 recruiting class coming in next year. This is a guy that at one point people thought should be fired. I mean, he's went out and he's brought in kids that, can play ball, whether it's, Jace Jeter or Ryan Luther or Brandon Randolph or whoever. And this team's found a way. Justin Coleman's been very good for him. Brandon Williams has been very good for him. I think, to me, they're probably the best team in the Pac-12, them in Washington. But, yeah, I think they can win a game, sure. What else do we have here? Monmouth, Siena, I don't really have an opinion on that game. Lean, Siena. Monmouth, though, have been scrappy. Holy Cross, Bucknell. Holy Cross has been very tough under Bill Carmody. Great team. Great coach, great team. Bill Carmody's as good as it gets. I would imagine this game is close. These teams are very similar. These teams are very much, I think, the two, as far as pecking order up in the Patriot League. Lehigh's solid. BU's always tough. But I like Holy Cross and I like Bucknell. This is not Bucknell of last year, though. No Nana Fallon or Zach Thomas, but this is still a pretty solid basketball team, a team that has gotten, 3 out of 4 to start out the Patriot League season. It's a big tilt early on here. You giving me 5, though, 4.5, 5, I think Holy Cross can hang. Holy Cross a lot better this year. Very slow tempo-wise. Love the 3. Naturally what they do. Have been solid on the road, too. One at UMass, one at Iona, one at Albany. Solid road team. I think this game comes down to the wire. Should be a good one between Bucknell and Holy Cross. Wouldn't surprise me to see the Crusaders win. Most of the MEAC games I don't have much on. I don't like the MEAC until the middle of the season. But, look, the high-end teams in the MEAC are going to be Norfolk State. They're going to be NC Central with Lavelle Moton. Then in the SWAC, you got your Gramblings, your Texas Southerns, your Southerns. You want to obviously bet against your Arkansas Pine Bluffs, Mississippi Valley State. Obviously Coppin, Maryland Eastern Shore, Delaware State is really bad. I would maybe look towards NC Central tonight against Delaware State. Delaware State is probably the worst team in the country overall. And you look at NC Central, I don't want to bore people, but it's kind of interesting what Lavelle Moton's been able to do there. I mean, he's quite the coach. I mean, seriously. I mean, he probably could have went to other places and won, but he didn't. He stayed. This is a pretty solid team. Rayshawn Davis, a really good player. Reggie Gardner, good team. Started out 2-0 in the conference, and both of them were blowout, 9 and 12-point wins. They should be able to go in and take care of business here. This is a pretty straightforward play. Delaware State is as bad as it gets. As bad as it gets. And you look at over the weekend, played Maryland Eastern Shore, who is just a tick better than Delaware State, and they were able to win by 13 in that game. So if I'm laying it, I'd look to lay it here. Delaware State is pretty horrendous. You look at 2-point percentage in the country. Delaware State is dead last. They're not much better shooting a three. They don't get to the foul line, and when they do get to the foul line, they don't score. They're also 329 in defensive efficiency. They have 3 wins on the year, and they're to St. Elizabeth, Karn University, and Delaware. How they beat Delaware, I'll never know. But it's not pretty for the Hornets. So I would maybe look towards North Carolina Central. Can you break down Kansas as a team? I mean, my general thoughts on Kansas, they were my pick to win the whole thing this year. And, look, I think as the season goes on, they'll get better. Obviously, they've unfortunately had a lot of shit to deal with. I mean, I think D'Souza is being absolutely railroaded by an unjust and pathetic NCAA. He should not be suspended right now. Obviously, they've had to deal with Azabwike, who's been in and out. They can't seem to get him healthy. Thank God for Dedrick Lawson, who's been able to give them a lot. But they've had an issue with their bigs. It's that simple. They can't get those kids healthy. And if you bring back D'Souza and you bring back Azabwike healthy, there are not a lot of better big combos in the country. The best big combo in the country, to me, as far as those 3 down low, is Gonzaga with Tilly, Hachimura, and Clark. I don't really Kansas, if they can get those guys healthy, Kansas just has just so many good guards. I mean, they have a ton of great guard play. They just don't have a lot of big. And you look at the bigs around this league. I mean, if you go to K-State, you got to deal with Dean Wade. You got, Oklahoma, you got to deal with some of their big kids. Up and down the cards here, there's a lot of bigs in this conference that you're going to have to contend with. You got to get them healthy. That's my concern with Kansas right now. But look, until someone beats Kansas, I'm not going to pick against them. I think in the pecking order of the Big 12, I would say, to me, they're number 1. I think Texas Tech has major offensive issues, and they're going to have to get that figured out. But Oklahoma, I think they're really good. I've made that clear. I think they're right up there. I think Iowa State, they're going to continue to get healthy as well. And look, K-State, they're probably the best 12-4 team in the country. And getting Wade and Stokes back is as big as it gets. Watch out for TCU. Jamie Dixon's club's playing some good basketball. And obviously West Virginia any day can hurt you. But West Virginia is 0-4 in a conference. So they've started out tough. You can make the case they're the worst team in this conference right now, which is pretty amazing. What a wealth what a crazy wealth of teams here you have. Big 12 is as good as it gets. But yeah, I like Kansas. They just got to get healthy. As of week A, he's out for the year. When did that? I didn't see that. So I'm not sure where you're getting that. I'm just seeing that here. I wasn't aware that he was out for the year. That's a terrible loss. I actually didn't even see that. That sucks. So yeah, there you go. My apologies, guys. Sometimes I don't see everything. I always thought he was. I didn't know they actually placed him, out for the year. Well, so that makes it even more tough. You got to try to get D'Souza healthy and eligible. I mean, he's healthy. He just needs to be eligible. Whether that'll happen, I don't know. That's obviously a big blow. My apologies, guys. Okay. All right, we got it. But yeah, that would be my thoughts. And obviously, they're not going to be back, it looks like. So that sucks. So probably I would go another way. I'd probably go with Texas Tech or Oklahoma. And that obviously helps. So I love Oklahoma. I'm very high on them. So this could be the first year where they're dethroned. Let's keep it moving on tonight's games. Wisconsin, Maryland. Look, I've talked about it. I think Wisconsin is about as weak as it gets from a physical standpoint. They're going to be very tested in this game tonight. I just had a problem laying 3.5 points here. This just seems like a bit too many for me. While Wisconsin, I think, is weak, they're still really good from a guard position. They're still a good defensive team. And I think while Maryland will get theirs, and I think they will win, I have a hard time laying 2 possessions here. Thing is, Maryland's at home. Maryland, for a first half perspective, looks okay. I could see that here. I could see it taking a little bit of time for them to get used to the physicality. Maybe they have to even come back in this game, Wisconsin. But I mean, Happ is a good player. I'm not gonna discount that. Maybe first half. And do I, gun to my head, would I take Wisconsin? No, I would probably take Maryland, but laying 3.5, 4, it's tough. It's tough to do. But Fernando's going to get his. That's the thing, though. I mean, you look at Wisconsin. I mean, Purdue got what they wanted, but it still was a scrappy game, and they had to battle. The problem is Purdue doesn't have a lot of great bigs. You look at all the bigs that they played against; they've had a lot of trouble against. I mean, West Kentucky beat them up. Minnesota beat them up. Marquette beat them up. I mean, I don't have a lot of confidence right now in this Wisconsin team. Already talked about Florida State. You recalled I said I didn't like Baylor. No, I don't like Scott Drew. That was more what I meant. Do I like Baylor from a long-term perspective? No, not really. I mean, I don't really ever like them from a long-term perspective because they don't ever win anything. They're basically Tennessee. That's exactly what Baylor is. They do well in the regular season generally, and then tournament comes, they kind of fail. I don't know. I've never really been a Scott Drew guy. Obviously, Tristan Clark's out now. I like some things about Baylor, but they do at times struggle to score. I don't know. I don't have much on them. They're not a team that I think can win the Big 12. And now that Clark's out, I think that's obviously hurts as well. I love Baylor from a football perspective. From a basketball perspective, not too much. I would actually lean Oklahoma State tonight. Uh, any ideas on the line movement for Northern Colorado? I mean, you got to put two and two together here, people. I mean, Northern Colorado is a good team, and people are betting them here. I'm not ready to just pull the trigger, though, on Northern Colorado. Obviously, the one tipping point is the fact that the whole world's on them here. Whenever you get the whole world in Northern Colorado, that's never a good thing because the public's starting to catch up with teams like Northern Colorado. The truth of the matter is, though, this Montana State team's playing some great basketball right now. They've started out this conference 3-0. They went on the road. I know Idaho stinks, but they went on the road and beat them. Put up 98 against Portland State. They're playing some great basketball, and they're being led right now by Fry and Hall. And these two kids are as good as it gets. Really good guard combo there. I'll tell you, I'd probably lean over in this game. The way both these teams are playing offensively, I'd probably lean over here. 151 seems a bit low. I mean, Montana State doesn't play much defense. And both these teams are pretty decent offensively. I mean, you look at Montana State, I mean, 338 effective field goal defense. 57% they're allowing. They're allowing opponents to shoot over 37% from three and 58% from two. Both these teams get to the line at a high level. Over looks real solid in this game. Real solid. I don't like anything on this card. This is the one game I definitely kind of like. The pace is okay as well. I mean, Northern Colorado's been scoring as well. I mean, you look at them. I mean, they've scored. They got beat up against Montana, but they were pretty solid against Idaho. They've been solid against Eastern Washington. They put up some points. I think the over looks pretty good in this game. The Northern Colorado Bears are a fade. Yeah, I'm not sure about. I don't know where you're getting that, but all right. I mean, they won 4 or 5. Not really sure what you mean by that. They're a fade. Why are they a fade? I don't think they're a fade. Hello, how are you? Yeah, this move down is weird. Real weird total. Real weird number as well. This is weird though because we saw this happen the other night in that UConn game where the total is plummeted. Let me see what we got here. This is one of those games where I'd probably just bet it and see how it goes. Like 151 seems way too low. Like I would have said around 155. Yeah, nothing. Real weird. People are just betting it down, I guess. Weird. Any other games here? I think we've got to all of them here. Uh, also, guys, wanted to remind all of you now that we have plenty of people in here. I urge all of you Wednesday evening, come play poker with us at SBR. We're going to be playing a free roll poker game. Anyone can play as long as you have a UWager account. You could sign up 2 hours beforehand. It's a great time. We had a good time last time. You can win $1,000 if you win the tournament, and if you knock out me or King Rail or Whale Capper or anybody participating, you get $100. So I urge you, check out the poker tournament. It's free to enter. It's at 8 o'clock on Wednesday. You could sign up 2 hours beforehand, and it's totally free. So I urge all of you to play in that, and you can play against me and other people that have shows at SBRs. Make sure you do that. Also, we have been told by SBR that our competition, King Rail and I, will be pushed back to start Thursday. So I guess they want to start it Thursday. So we'll not be starting tonight as we had originally thought. So that will start on Thursday. So that will be interesting. So yeah, that's going to be that. So if you were looking forward to that, you have to wait a little bit. Other than Baylor, Oklahoma, we talked about Texas, Kansas. Look, I don't really have much opinion on Texas. I don't really think they have a scorer. I don't really like anything about Texas, and I think Kansas. I think the guards could really bother Texas here. I think Shaka Smart's kind of a hack. I mean, personally, didn't look much into this game. I mean, obviously, we don't know what we're getting right now to Kansas. They have to kind of, figure things out. And Texas, I don't really like from an offensive perspective. So I didn't have much in that game. North Carolina A&T. The only game I really liked down there is North Carolina Central. What is my cutoff for free throw percentage? I mean, I 70%, but I generally look into the kids that have the ball at the end of the game. That's really more of an indication. But I mean, it's hard now because there's not a lot of great foul shooting teams. There's only 2 teams in the country that are averaging above 80%. But a couple teams that I would have your eye on from an ATS perspective. Hofstra, they're very good from the line. Toledo, I love Virginia. They're very good. They're 7th in the country from the line. South Dakota State, great over team. Ole Miss, Lipscomb, Iowa, Pacific. They're not a great over team, but they're worth it. Marquette, they're great. Arizona, we talked about them. Gonzaga, Kentucky, Charleston. That's a nice little team to keep your eye on. Winthrop, if you ever are down in the Big South. Weber State, I actually had them on Saturday night, and they got the job done for me. I'm a big fan of the Wildcats. Love Randy Rahe as a coach. They're a good foul shooting team. North Carolina, Niagara, great over team. Utah State, LSU, St. Mary's, all teams. Davidson's 8th in the country. North Dakota State would be a good one because there's always a lot of good overs out in the Summit League. North Dakota State, 2nd in the country at 80% from the line. And the number 1 free throw shooting team in the country, the incarnate word, Cardinals. How about that? Also, I'll tell you another team that has been fantastic. It seems like they've been covering a ton is the UL Monroe Warhawks. They have been terrific against the number. It seems like they cover every game as a dog. And I'd be curious to know what their overall ATS numbers are. 10-5 against the spread. UL Monroe, they have been a team that have been covering a lot of numbers lately. UL Monroe, they're generally a dog. They're usually getting 7, 8, 9 points. They've been getting it done down in the Sun Belt. Really solid team. Like them a lot. Any thoughts on NJIT? Can they win the Atlantic Sun? No, they're not winning the Atlantic Sun. Lipscomb is the class of that conference. And then Liberty is better than them as well. No. NJIT is not winning that conference. No way. If they win that conference, I'll give you $500. There you go. To be honest, I think North Florida is better than they are. I like Abdul Lewis a lot. Great player, but no, they're not winning. They're not winning anything. I don't have any opinion on games tomorrow. Um, yeah, I mean that's a good point. I mean, then you look at teams that are bad from the line, and that's a great one. UCLA, they're as bad as it gets. Don't cover last night against Oregon State. If you go look at their free throw percentage, I'm sure it wasn't good. It's insanely annoying when you have teams that can't shoot foul shots. Insanely. The worst free throw shooting team in the country is Manhattan. Talked about them. Other teams to stay away from. St. Louis. They're as bad as it gets. UCLA. South Florida. I mean, South Florida would have won if they could have made free throws against Temple over the weekend. Didn't make them. Kansas State. They're a bad foul shooting team. Illinois, Chicago. They're as bad as it gets. Arkansas. Rutgers. Rutgers is a great under team. They don't make shots. They don't make foul shots, and they play good defense. Northern Kentucky, talk about them. They're a bad foul shooting team. Central Michigan, it's weird. Central Michigan last year was one of the best foul shooting teams in the country. Now they're one of the worst. How about that? A couple others to note. Michigan's not a good foul shooting team. Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Duke, all not good. Who the fuck is texting me? So yeah, Indiana. There you go. Indiana tonight. That could prove it costly. Wisconsin. We all know they're bad too. Baylor's a bad foul shooting team. Stanford, Georgia State. Watch them. What's up, Al Hard? Jake DeZekas. Any NBA bets? Yeah, I was going to get to that in just a second. Bear with me here. So yeah, that's the NBA or the NCAA card for tonight. Free play. I'll go with the over in that Northern Colorado Montana State game. As far as NBA tonight, I usually wait till like 6:30 to look at NBA. As far as what I would look at, I think the Nets are definitely a play that I'm very interested in tonight. At 2.5. Would have liked to have gotten 3, but I'll take it. The Nets look fantastic. Who else do I like here? I think Memphis has some value tonight. Houston on a back-to-back. Definitely like Memphis a little bit. Actually like Memphis and the Nets. Those are my two that I like. There you go. Memphis and the Nets. We'll stay on for about another 10 minutes, guys, or longer. Depends if we get into a good conversation. If you guys have any questions, I'll tell you. Yesterday it was funny. I watched a game with my girl, and it was tough. She doesn't really like screaming, so like, and I'm not gonna scream, but you guys know I watch a game generally, so it was kind of bullshit because of the way plans kind of went. We were gonna go out and watch it at this spot near my house, but the bar was like fucking packed, and she got there kind of late, so we knew we were gonna go out to dinner after, so we just ended up watching at my house, and it was and I had basically told all my, a couple of my friends, my boy Ryan and stuff, that I wasn't going to be there. So we ended up just watching it ourselves. And it was kind of weird because, like, she likes football and, like, she's out in the Philly scene. So she loves it, but she's a chick, So I don't know. It was a fun game, but it was a tough game. And she actually made a comment to me, and it was kind of smart. She was talking about how maybe the Eagles blew their load a little quick, and I didn't really think about it, but it ended up making total sense. So, it was a tough one, but is what it is. Rankings came out today. Still don't really seem to understand how Virginia is behind Michigan. Don't really understand that. But you know what? Who cares about rankings, I guess? Who cares about anyone's rankings? That's why, I hate to see when people get so mad. And I obviously took the piss and got a lot of Tennessee fans upset over the weekend, which is one of my favorite pastimes. Pissing them off. They obviously got pissed off over the weekend, and they're the most brutal fan base on earth. I mean, they're so bad as a fan base. They took a lot of offense, and a lot of them thought I was a Florida fan, which I wasn't. And if you know anything about me, you know that chop comment was so sarcastic, and I was just trying to get a rise out of them. I mean, it worked because I had like 80 comments back to me. You fat fuck. You don't know shit about basketball. You're a dumbass. Fuck you. You're mad. Da 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 da. Which, it was, the thing was, it was Saturday night. It was snowing, and I was bored. So I knew I'd get Tennessee fans rolling a little bit because they're the most brutal fan base on earth, and they hate when people talk about Tennessee. So, they came in and were crowding me. But it'll be fun when Tennessee loses, and then I can get a little, I can rectify it. And then I really got certain Tennessee fans going because I said I posted something about Temple being top 5 in wins all time, and people started talking about, well, Temple's they never go to the Final Four, and I brought out the old, well, they did go to 2 Final Fours, and it got funny because people started bringing up it was like in the 50s, and it was fun. It was really fun. I had a lot of fun on Twitter this weekend. A lot of people didn't take kindly to some of my comments. Now, yesterday I was pissed off, and at one point I did say "fuck this team," and I was irritated. I was very annoyed with this team yesterday. But yeah, the Tennessee stuff was funny. I mean, I actually want to look back and see how many comments and stuff I ended up getting. I mean, there were a lot of people pissed off. I mean, a lot of people. It's fucking funny, man. Where is it at here? I fucking missed. I must have. I don't know. It was like 90 or something. It was a lot. Like, I got a lot of people busting my balls about it. But it was fun. They're hillbillies. Nah, they're not all hillbillies. Girls don't know or like football. They want to have something in common with you, but can't watch a game. That's not true. She watched the entire game. She knows football. She's not like me, but, big man is a broke loser. Well, thank you. Thanks for watching, though. Appreciate you adding to my listener base. John, you're welcome to hang out here if you want for a little. But thanks for watching. Do I like Memphis over? I don't have any opinion on the total. I heard you made friends with Teddy B. Yeah. Fuck Teddy B. I'm the number 1 Tennessee fan, and you're right. We suck and can't beat Vandy for a bowl game. Well, at least you take it all in fun, Stone Cold, which is cool. And guys, again, why don't we give it up for John? We appreciate him watching every day. Without him, we wouldn't get as many likes and views. So we thank you for him joining us. Hale beat State. What's up? Carlos Cortez is back. What's happening? Mike Rogas, don't feed into the negative BS. What do you mean? I said, thanks for listening. Why don't you shut up, Mike? Let me do what I want to do. How about that? Why don't you just listen and be quiet? I didn't say anything negative. I did talk about Kansas at length. Jawan Emery, what's up? How are you? If you have any overall basketball questions, feel free to send them in. I'll be on for as long as we want to be here tonight. Tonight at 9 o'clock, I'll be on for Off the Board. Ian Cameron will join me, 9 o'clock tonight. We'll talk about some live wagers. I'm sure we'll have some angles. And I'm sure we'll talk about all sorts of fun stuff. And we'll try to rein Ian in, who Sometimes Ian goes off the deep end and talks for a while. Devin Booker in the news, according to reports, he got both an Instagram model and his high school sweetheart pregnant at the same time. So Devin Booker digging into a little private stock on the side, and decided not to wear a condom. So for many years, Devin, you will have to pay child support to 2 different women, which sucks. Sorry, buddy. Maybe you should have listened to your mom when she told you to wear a condom. But I don't know. He's pretty rich, so sure he can pay for it. Also, while doing all this, dated another woman, Jordan Woods. So he's had 3 different women at the same time. One wasn't enough, huh? I'll never understand these cats, man. These young athletes. So you're fucking 3 broads at the same time. Definitely a power move. I've been known to do it before as well. But first of all, you gotta wear the old condom, and second of all, I mean, why are you busting inside these broads? I mean, I never understood that. I mean, unless you're trying to get your wife pregnant or something, I don't understand the point of it. But I don't know. He did just sign a $150 million contract, but going to be paying a lot of child support for a while. Either way, dumb decision. Yeah, Spike, you're coming at the end of the show asking about games. We talked about that game, brother. Sorry. Settle down, Mike. It's all right, buddy. Don't worry. Is it true SBR stands for stupid broke losers? No, that would be SBL. But who's wondering? If you're going to actually throw out funny things like that, at least get it right. No, SBR stands for Sportsbook Review. SBL would stand for stupid broke losers, but okay. And now he's saying that a big man is a virgin. I'm not, but okay. I did fuck your mom though, so I can't. How can I be a virgin? Must suck, but it's okay, John. I mean, we gave you we gave you your avenue, and you just haven't found a way to make any of us laugh. So, we're gonna have to let you go, buddy. Take it easy, all right? If you would have made us laugh, we would have kept you around. But your troll game is really bad, really bad. But thanks for watching, John. See ya. Let's get back to the comments here. Any thoughts on NCAA futures? Yeah, I like Gonzaga. They're obviously very high. I think long shots would be Oklahoma. I like Oklahoma a lot. I made that bet a while ago. NC State, I don't know about them. I'm more or less interested in fading them going forward. I have Virginia already. As far as futures, I mean, let's look here. I mean, let's see if there's any like top 25 long shots we could look at. I mean, I obviously think Oklahoma is. I mean, they're going down by the day here. I think Mississippi State's interesting. Buffalo, I think they're interesting. Ole Miss, I mean, either of the Mississippi teams. I think you'd get some decent value in Texas Tech, Houston. I mean, all those teams. How good is Zion? Zion's, I think we all knew Zion's pretty good. Yeah, I like the Terps tonight. I would lean more first half. Yeah, it's a shame John Shue's parents didn't decide to just jack off into the tissue instead. It's a shame they actually went the Devin Booker route. I would have looked more towards the tissue. You know, sometimes when you're with your girl and she's like, come on my tits, it's like, okay, maybe I'll do that instead. Maybe John Shue's parents should have did that. That would have been a better idea, I think. But unfortunately, they purveyed him to us, and we had to deal with him. Too bad they didn't decide to just do it on our tits instead. Best future at 100-1 to better, Oklahoma. Spokesman saying shooters shoot with Devin Booker. I mean, he's not really shooting, though. He doesn't really have to shoot. He just says come over, and they do. Exactly, Quan. Firm financial stance on Kansas tonight, says Ferdinando. I don't hate it. I don't know. I'm not really feeling them right now. Settle down, Spike. No one yelled at you. Who yelled at you? You came in at the end of the show and you're asking about games. I'm telling you, we talked about them already. Big man, yes, I do like Northern Colorado over. Sure. Do you think Michigan could beat Duke in a neutral site game? Yes, I do think they could. Washington's a good one too. Talked about them before the season started. Settle down, Baba Booey. Don't jump on the guy. Yeah, I'm not interested in St. John's or Minnesota. St. John's, no way. Not with that coach. Yeah, I didn't really have much on Siena and Monmouth. Oh, I see everybody, Bo. We'll continue with questions. If you have any, send them in. We'll try to hit them all here. And we'll all remember and wish that John's parents would have went another way instead of having him as a kid. If you're looking at NBA bets, do like the Grizzlies and Nets. If you have interest, feel free to opine on those. What else do we have here? Yeah, I already talked about Holy Cross. I like that. Oh man, definitely always a weird day after the Eagles lose, like a playoff game. It's always a weird day because you're kind of irritated. A lot of people jumping on Michael Bennett's today. I don't see the big deal. I don't know why people have a problem with it. If I was a football player of his magnitude and I just lost a playoff game, I mean, I had some random one cameraman in my face. I tell him to get the fuck out of my face too. Um, if there's something wrong with that, then fuck it. I don't care. You notice there was only one cameraman though. It's funny though, but it's Michael Bennett, so he's an easy target. If that was like, I don't know, if that was J.J. Watt, no one would say anything about it. But it's Michael Bennett, so it's easy to have an opinion because people don't like Michael Bennett. We love him here, but it's okay. I don't care if that player was on Tennessee, if he was on Texas, or if he was on the Eagles, or he was on any team. I've always talked about in poker. They always make you interview after you go out of the World Series of poker. It's like, is there anything I'd want to do less than talk to the media? Would you consider San Jose State top five worst in D1 level? Yes. Big man, are you still in those apartments on Dickens Drive? Yes. Feel free to come say hello if you have any questions. If you find me, make sure you come ready. All right, buddy? But you won't. So it's okay. But that's what people do on the internet, guys. You see this guy? He's giving out my address, and that's the level of these people. That's the level they go to bother me. It's that crazy, these people. Instead of getting a job or doing something with their lives, this is what they do. It's okay though, because he can keep talking, and eventually we'll find who he is, and he can be given a subpoena and have to go to court for what he's doing. What you're doing is illegal, bro. It's that simple. I'm not going to call the cops over it, but it's illegal. And you fuck with the wrong person, they will put you in jail. Just telling you. What you're doing is illegal and shouldn't be put up with on here. You want to call me fat or a virgin, that's cool. When you start talking about my address and my sister and stuff like that, I mean, that it becomes a little weird. But it's cool. Like I said, you're willing to come. If you want to come to my house, that's cool. But make sure you're prepared when you come, Bo. Okay? Because I don't fuck around with that. When you start talking about my personal life, then we have a problem. And that's just something I don't really have to deal with. It's that big to you that you got to involve my personal life and who I am because I don't know if you don't like me or what your issue is, but It's the internet, bro. This isn't real life. But again, make sure if you come, make sure you knock on the door and say hello. But you won't. Just like all the people that were talking shit. Then I go out to Vegas and nobody has anything to say. Nobody met me out there. No one beat me up. No one beat me. No one hurt me. Everybody's happy. Oh, big man, you're a lot different in person. It's always all the tough talkers until it really comes to be time to talk. Go ahead. I don't give a shit. I've given my apartment number. You think I care? None of you people are going to do nothing about it. If you want to come, feel free. Come over. I'm waiting on you. Come over. And when you come here and your head's on my fucking stoop, maybe you could tell the cops what happened to you. You know? We come to someone else's house, then you start, I'm not going to look for a fight, but don't threaten me on the internet. There's no need for that. So we're going to say bye to you, all right? Have a nice night. See ya. Real psychos on this thing, man. Real psychos. But that's what we deal with on the internet, If your people aren't hating on you, then you're not doing it right. And sometimes you have to deal with that crap. Remember, guys, this is a free show that I'm doing. I don't have to do this. I'm doing it for all of you. So, the lowlife crumb Teddy B shows up. What a loser. Thanks for watching, bro. Thanks for adding. What a complete loser. Fly, Eagles, fly. Hey, we knocked you out of the playoffs, didn't we? But that's okay. You already knew that because like a loser, you were sitting at home watching like everyone else. That's what you do, though, Teddy B. You watch everyone else. As we all grow up and get famous and make money, you sit like a loser and watch all of our shows. So that's okay. Fair enough. Oh, you hit me hard on that one. Sorry. How am I going to be able to do more shows tonight? Teddy B hit me hard on that one. Teddy B's a follower. I'm a leader. He's a follower. Teddy B's in my DM. Big man, can you please put me on? Can you get me on your show? Fuck you. Create your own show, dickhead. But he hit me hard with the Fly Eagles Fly. Even though we won the Super Bowl last year, how can I get up from the mat after that one? Thank you, J Pal. Appreciate it. Thanks, King Op. Hey, King Op, hit me up, bro. We'll meet up at Sugar House. I'll be there over the weekend, all right? Guan White, always looking for drama. Guan White enjoys drama, as we saw this weekend. Thanks, Isaac. Tania. I don't know what that means, but thanks. All right, guys. Everyone have a great night. We're going to wrap it up here. Thanks all for joining us here on the Hoops Hour. Had some good convo on basketball tonight. I hope all of you find some winners. Favorite leans, definitely Northern Colorado and Montana State over 151. And then definitely kind of like Nebraska and Florida State as well. So that's that. We'll see you all tomorrow here on the show. Actually, tomorrow I will not be here on this show. I have to step out at around 5 o'clock, so I won't be here. But all of you will be back later in the week for more. Have a great night, and we will see you next time. See you tonight on Off the Board, 9 o'clock on SBR. See you then.